The ones who are successful in interacting with them are not tied to the Moorish Saints Temple. They tied to a tribe.
Oh.
They tied to one of the tribes on the land. We just got to try it back up by families.
But for a lot of people, they don't know. They don't even know. It's funny, you know. I'm looking back. My dad just transitioned in February, but when I say ask Dad where he's from, my dad told me back in the. He said I'm a Blackfoot Indian. He's born in Georgia, born and raised in Buena Vista, Georgia. And I said, why, Dad? Why you say that? Because you got black feet. I didn't even know there was a Blackfoot Indian, so-called Indian tribe.
Yeah, they are an Iroquois sub-tribe. Some of the bigger tribes is made up of smaller tribes.
Mm-hmm.
The branches of the Iroquois Nation is Crow, Blackfoot, I think Choctaw. It's a few more of them. Most of the Seminoles. Okay, so when we come to your land, our chief got to meet your chief and say, hey, we coming to give you aid, render aid and assistance. Then they exchange gifts. Then they smoke the peace pipe. Then they go to give a daughter to the chief from each clan. They exchange daughters. This is called tying the blood ties. Now, no matter what happened, I'm not turning on you and you're not turning on me because we family for real now.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter married your son and my son married your daughter. So now, whatever happened, all of the chiefs know we ain't finna back down from that agreement because I'm not going to give my daughter up just because I want to infiltrate you. We don't operate that way, but the enemy does. That's why Elijah Muhammad said the last trick of the devil would be to freely give you his woman. The only way you can tell his woman is because she don't take care of the yoni. That's sacred in our culture. All of our women tell us boys when we growing up, if she stink up the room, don't touch it. Right? That's our culture. They culture not like that. So she don't have to take care of her portal. In our culture, it's mandatory. That's one of the first things that the women start teaching their daughter early about her body. You know, don't nobody supposed to touch you down there. If anybody touch you down there, you're supposed to tell mommy or daddy. Period. Right? So she's starting to learn respect for her body at an early age. We teach the same thing differently to the boys, but that's taught by the men.
I don't think that goes on anymore. Yeah.
We don't have those rites of passage in play anymore.
No, we don't.
That's been replaced with a 12-step thinking detoxification program called school.
Mm-hmm.
And the word school is a Yiddish word from the Yiddish word shul, S-H-O-O-L, which came from the Hebrew word Sheol, which is S-H-E-O-L. And we all know if we read the book that Sheol is hell.
Hell is hell. That's what I'm saying.
So we sending our kids to hell. We feeding them to the beast.
Oh my. Y'all hear that?
So if you study Dr. Amos Wilson, he'll say, how in the hell can you let your enemy educate your child and expect to be to rise up out of the condition? He only gonna teach your child what's required to keep him in that condition.
Absolutely.
It's the same with Carter G. Woodson, the miseducation of the Negro tell you the same thing. If you control the way a man think, you need not worry about his actions. Right? So once we understand that the mind of the oppressed is the greatest weapon of the oppressor, then we know to pull our children out of a system of miseducation so that we can properly educate them.
That's true. Wow.
History books before 1900 don't tell the same story as history books after. And that's why they cost so much more. Not because because it's a lot of them. But they cost more because you have to pay the cost to be the boss. You got to pay the price to get the knowledge required to break free. Right? Yeah. So I didn't pay the cost. That's why the money don't move me, because I know the system is fraudulent. And the next thing to fall is the money system. The money system and the media is the next two things to fall. The media, you're going to know they fail when you got new faces telling you the truth.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to happen slowly. And I hear all the time about the viewership in some of these major outlets, how much it has dropped. It's because folks aren't like, they realize they could turn any channel on and hear exactly the same thing because it was like, this was scripted. Everybody's saying the same thing, and they sometimes they've showed it.
Well,
Yeah,
all of the news.
Yeah, saying the same thing at the same time, different news.
This is why they only get all of the news. Get their news from two places. They get it from the Reuters News Service or the Associated Press. That's it. The CIA created both of them.
But that they said there's some main players, but there's only a couple, like maybe, I think it was like 6 owners of all of these major outlets are owned by, say, just a handful, 5 or 6 people. Like I think he's dead now, but Rupert Murdoch was one, and there was different ones that had these outlets, and they're the ones, and so they just shoot out, like you said, a release, and everybody reads. I mean, they even have folks read the release.
It don't matter who's putting the release out. It can only come in and be put on the news through 2 places: Reuters and Associated Press.
Okay.
So let's say that you have a news TV station and you want today's news. You don't go out in the street and look for a story. You're not an investigative reporter. Investigative reporters work for Reuters and Associated Press. So they sell their stories to them. Then the CIA screen them and say, put this out in the public domain. It's just that simple. None of this stuff that we getting is haphazard. It's all orchestrated and planned. We believe that when the news report on the story that is local and it only affects that our news people found out some news, right? And the big story is the story that play out on all of the channels.
Right? Yeah, that's like most recently, like the slap that was heard around the world while you missed what was happening on the Senate floor.
Yeah. So when the slap came about, it was 2 things taking place. It was the beginning of the invasion. It was the opening up of the Hunter Biden laptop in the evidence. Right? Because now, once this start rolling out, it's going to bring in the Podesta files, which that's not a coincidence because it happens too often. Right? So this lady had to go around worrying about the rest of her kids for the rest of her life, because if she tell what happened to her daughter, they going to do that to the worse to the rest of her kids. That's some foul shit. Don't no mother want to have to carry that burden, keeping the secret of who killed one of your children to keep the rest of your children alive and safe.
Yeah. Some deep stuff.
Yeah, that's a trap. Secured party creditor, UCC1 is all uniform commercial code regulated adhesion contract scenarios.
So it's a trap, is what you're saying.
It's a trap. It worked for a while till they get tired of your ass telling people. Then they charge you with fraud for doing it and lock your ass up. So a couple hundred guys in the federal joint right now for it that got pulled out of the state for trying to use it to get free from prison that I knew personally.
Really?
It wasn't that they was wrong. It's a loophole they can't close. So they got an alternative. Any mistake made in the paperwork is considered a fraud. If you forget to dot an I across the T, it turns the whole paperwork into an action of fraud. It's a trap.
Mm.
And it no longer applies anyway because the corporation is defunct. Washington, D.C. is closed.
We see in the movie.
That's all we seeing. They playing out White House scripts from Castle Rock Studios. Senate scripts is playing out from some other building that ain't the Senate building. Nobody ain't even noticed the decor being different. The size of the ceiling is lower. Ain't no balcony for all of the delegates to be in there. We ain't noticed none of that. We just watching them talk, thinking that they telling us the truth. And they talking to us with double speak. It's every politician got to learn double speak. Just like you got legalese, you got medical leagues, and then you got political leagues. The political language is double speak. Tell the people one thing means something different. That's why the elders told us pale face speak with forked tongue. That means he's telling you what he want to tell you, and then he's telling you what he told to tell you. He's telling you 2 different things at the same time. And if you listen to them, pale face speak with forked tongue, one tongue telling the truth, the other one telling the bald faced lie. That's always to keep us at constantly off guard, off balance. We always falling back and can't quite get our bearings as to what's taking place. Because every time we get to the bottom of one lie, they tell us 1,000 more to sift through.
Right. The Black Zionist says, I live in DC. I live in DC, but it still looks open.
DC is closed. Matter of fact, they just made it public that they evacuated the what's the building, the Senate building, the State House, whatever the fuck it's called. That they made it public that they evacuated it about 2 or 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah,
they evacuated like it's a threat, or they're just.
So this is the cover story to let the people know why DC closed. They're saying they're preparing for a attack.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. They're preparing for an attack. Russia's about much thinking about us is me and you thinking about giving Putin a birthday present. And he ain't crossed my mind until they brought up Russia. So you know I wasn't finna buy him no birthday present. Russia ain't thinking about us. I posted that 1.5 years ago. As soon as they tell you that we about to go to war with Russia or China, they lying. The deep state got private militaries on all land masses, masquerading as contingents of the real military. So it was a buzz that was real heavy with Secret Service and with the CIA leading up to that the old man Bush and LBJ was collaborating to change. That was also, when they say he wasn't playing ball, it was also in reference to Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution and the missile crisis. Because Fidel Castro was an American baseball player in college. And a lot of people don't know that.
So if they're looking for that, thanks for the memories PDF. It's by someone named Bryce, BRICE Taylor. Very interesting read. It's not interesting as much as it's shocking, but it's the stuff that goes on that we're now just finding out about. So wow. Someone says Hollywood's closed, so they hit Studio City. They also doing a lot of stuff in Georgia. Georgia seems to be the East Coast Hollywood. A lot of things are taking place in Georgia.
That's Tyler Perry's supposed to be putting us up our own studios to bypass the usury contracts and the 360 contracts and the sex deals for movie parts and all that. So Tyler Perry's job was to build and establish our studios for the people from the land.
Well, okay. Yeah, my middle son has been an extra in some of his movies, and he lives right near. He's not far from the studio, so I'm glad to hear that he's not a part of the problem. I didn't know, because you never know.
Well, they classify him as a huge problem.
They or us?
They, the system.
Okay. The system.
He's a headache that they can't figure out a way around it because they can't. All of the frauds that they wanted to hit him with tax evasion, but he was paying his taxes.
Okay.
Right. Then they was going to try the sex scandal. So he portrayed characters where it wouldn't work. Right. So everything that they was going to use against him, somebody was tipping him off on how to play his hand so he could stay a step ahead of him. I got my suspicion, but I don't know it to be the fact yet.
Wow. Let me see. We're gonna go out I'm gonna take a few more questions. If there are actually any questions, I'm kind of looking at some comments. Research background. Okay. Let me see. Any questions? Y'all? While we got this record keeper.
It's funny you call me that because that's what I call Todd.
Really? Okay, but you record keeper, Gresham knows a lot. He knows a lot. But I'm saying you and I have spoken. I think the first time we had a conversation, we talked for 2 hours and 18 minutes, and that was just that was an introductory conversation. And the next time I called you for something, I was like, oh, I think I woke you up. An hour plus later, we were still talking, because the knowledge was coming, was coming out. And I just appreciate you, and I appreciate knowledge. Anybody who, in some of the folks here in the chat appreciate the dearth, if you will, and the breadth of knowledge that you bring, and you're able, almost all subjects that are brought up, you are able to speak on it, and that's a good thing. I mean, you're not stuttering and stammering and saying I think and so forth. But when you can be definitive about what it is you say, and then it's up to each one of us to put it in our own filter, and if it resonates, fine. If it doesn't, it's okay. Everything, the truth don't work with everybody.
Well, we're not all supposed to always believe the same thing all the time.
That's right.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, we'd be cookie cutter.
It's 8.4 billion people on the planet. Can you imagine everybody trying to do the same thing every day? That don't make sense. So everybody ain't supposed to agree with me.
Right.
But they're supposed to be triggered to go do some research on their own to find out where I might be missing something, because they might be the missing piece.
Right. Yeah.
The fact that they disagree with me could send them back to get a piece of information that could bridge a gap somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why we all become equally important. No big eyes, no little U's, no respecter of persons. Right. Mm-hmm. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and you can't dress that motherfucker up however you want it just because you want it to be different. Right is gonna still be right, and wrong gonna still be wrong.
Right.
We gonna still be over here, and we ain't from Rome. And they say all roads lead back to Rome, which is the papal bulls. The papal bulls is the decrees of the Pope to usurp the land, or what they call execute the white man's burden of civilizing the world. But how you gonna civilize somebody that was building monuments you can't even duplicate?
Speaking of monuments and stuff, I do have something I wanted to bring up. You mentioned the World's Fair, and I don't know how many really, we didn't go into depth into that, but I started studying it just recently, like in the last 2 or 3 months, not even that far back, about these World Fairs and these orphan trains that were going on around the same time, and these, they had these massive structures that they put in certain places, that they opened World's Fairs in, and they gave the public the illusion or the lie that they had created this just to bring forth technology, more recent technology, when the truth of it is these had existed. Question one, where did the people go that used to inhabit those places? How did they get rid of the real inhabitants of that? That's my first question.
A lot of our major cities like Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, a couple cities in New Jersey, they sent them to us. That shit don't work on us. We gon' figure this shit out and put it in the public domain for the rest of the Klansmen to know. Because we know the rules. The rule is each one teach one for a reason. Because it's the word of mouth. It's the spreading of the word of mouth about the awareness of the self and the social condition. We need to change the condition because our children are suffering the most, and our children are our future. So to see the children suffering and stand by idly is to watch your future be burnt to the ground in front of your face. So if we don't get a handle on Pizzagate, Pedalgate, Frazzle Drip, Watergate, Bill Gates, and any other gate they got, the Queen Elizabeth gate, the Pope gate, we get to closing all these goddamn gates on their motherfucking ass. Let the guillotine drop.
Lionsgate.
You dig? Hey, you brought that up. That's Daniel. And judgment came in through the Lions Gate. That's an 88 flip. And lions running prides. And the pride is the family. Because the pride is in the family. If you're a mother, she be proud of all her kids. Unless she one of them fake ones.
Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we go back to our culture, go back to the way things doing, like a small city ties to the big city.
Don't slam.
Small cities tie back into the big cities as a support system, right? The smaller cities feed the bigger cities for the workers that need to be there. But when they get done working, putting in their work to develop into the person that can handle their shit, then they get all their shit. It was the training ground to learn how to live a certain kind of way. They turned them into industrial centers. But that's where the training grounds were, all of the big cities. And the only one that still got the parade is New Orleans, Mardi Gras. We used to do that shit all over the country. Now we only got one city doing it. And then you got the people that's supposed to be doing it scared to do it. We scared to even go to New Orleans during Mardi Gras season. Oh, them witches gonna put a hex on me. Motherfucker, you going to church every Sunday getting hexed. You going to the mosque doing Juma every Friday getting hexed. Maybe if you go to Mardi Gras, your ass might get hex free. I'm just saying. We threw festivals for a reason, because a miserable motherfucker can keep.
Somebody say carnival, cookout, party.
All that shit.
Look, I'm gonna keep going back. I'm ready.
But we do that shit because we know that when we keep everybody in that high energy state, they can't fuck with us. We see them instantly when they bring the bullshit at that point. Because we all can vibrate on that high altitude. They can't do it and they get an attitude. Right? And that's when they expose themselves. So
does anybody have any questions? I just want to. I'm getting hounded. Same thing with tribal dancing and crip walking. I'm just looking at some things.
Mm-hmm. I can barely see it on my screen.
What in the love? Let me get out my face.
The fastest way now to help the movement is to keep the habeas petition going, get many people from a position of a sovereign. We need to see the three kings. So we support that Hague. The Hague was issued in the sovereign capacity into the public domain by the clerk of the family court.
We still get the same. I can't even do these same questions about the nationality card and
slave catching.
Is Kanye corrupting the movement? Is a question I've seen twice.
No, Kanye is following Larry instructions to the letter right now. So look, it worked like this. No matter how much we care about you, no matter how much we love you, if you did dirt, you're going to pay for your dirt. I don't give a fuck who you is. Ain't no big eyes or little dudes in this shit.
I'm about to change.
So there's no exceptions, including me. Ain't no exceptions. I paid for my dirt.
Disrespect.
I ain't no motherfucking happy-go-lucky, friendly ass, get along to go along ass motherfucker. That's not my lane. So if I gotta pay for my shit, I done some wrong in my life. I had to pay for that shit. I paid for it. But I'm not gonna keep paying for it now that the debt paid. Not gonna hold that shit over my head forever. Right? Because I did something when I was a child. You're not gonna hold me as an adult responsible for childish ways of a child. No, that's not gonna work like that. I paid my motherfucking dues, paid my motherfucking debts. The borders are already closed. Oh,
That's what I was going to speak on earlier, and we did talk about Kamala earlier in the video, but he did the sanctions based on the elections, the interference. So he froze anybody's account that was tied to it. So some of these corporations have their shit on these containers and they're seized. And there is a log that I found that actually shows they are taking ships in, but it's only certain ones. So they're freezing any celebrity, any corporation, any CEO stuff, and that's why all that shit is sitting out there.
right. Well, listen, we in a governmental
And
transition.
treason.
We in a government.
Yeah, it was back in 2018.
Yeah. So now we in the governmental transition. They got to close the borders anyway. Right. So now that the borders closed, that anybody that know how government operate, and let's remember Noble Drew said, I'm leaving in power until y'all can run the government. That means you got to know how government run, even in spite of the narrative they telling. So when you switching the government over, you have to close the borders to prevent invasion. But American borders are not the only borders that's closed. It's ships all over the earth just sitting on the oceans because they can't dock. If they was out at sea, they can't dock. If they was in the harbor and docked, they can't go out to. If they go out to sea, they might get shot the fuck down. Sunk. Right? And also, because of that, people are expecting delivery of their children, and now they starting to panic because they know that they stolen babies is stuck on the ocean, and they're gonna eventually either get caught or have a bunch of dead bodies they gotta dump. That's how they end up catching that ship with all them kids on it. They ain't the only one out there, and they ain't the only one they caught. And don't think the Navy ain't going ship to ship on recon missions.
We board shipped all the time.
Yeah, don't think they're not going and investigating. And any motherfucker that got gets a problem, you got multiple militaries from around the world converging on all these ships looking for these kids. So they got the news stories playing out with the boogeyman being China or Russia about to attack us. Them motherfuckers ain't thinking about us because they over there cleaning their own shit up.
Everybody's running quote unquote drills. That's the code word. So yes, watch the water. Some people have been asking about La Palma earthquakes. You know, that's a whole nother subject. That's just naturally going to occur. We asked you to prepare. It's not going to stop to a certain extent.
Look,
certain things are going to happen.
Look, people that's not watching it, they want you to keep updating them on it, right? But the shit ain't changed. The condition is the same. Why am I going to keep telling you the same shit over and over? I'm not going to do it. Go back and watch the last video and you'll be caught up. If I ain't talk about La Palma, then watch the one before that. Until you hear me talking about La Palma, I mean the information hasn't changed. And if it did, the update was there. Right? Fuck La Palma, sink that bitch, get rid of the parasites when Atlas shrugged. That's how I feel about it. And if the tsunami come, then goddamn it, let the tsunami come. That had nothing to do with me. Get rid of the motherfucking problem so that we can go on about our own goddamn business. DC need to be the only thing affected by the goddamn tsunami, as far as I care. They can wash that bitch in the ocean.
Well, can I move first before you wash me out to sea? I already know how to swim. It's the rest of y'all I be worried about.
Look, as long as
that was the first thing when I got on planet Earth. Rashida learned how to swim. Scuba diver certified, know how to do subs. Any aircraft carrier, I will fuck a ship in ocean. I love it. But the rest of y'all can play if you want to.
Yeah.
Play if you want to. I came Atlantis ready, like memories. I remember.
I
don't fuck with the
Hey,
water,
look,
but I will. No fear.
you know how they be talking about girls wearing yoga pants?
Okay, why?
No, I'm bringing that for a reason. But literally, the the full bodysuit was normal attire for women in Atlantis.
Oh, diversity.
Yeah, that's what that's where all that came from. Cat suits. That's what they call them. Yeah.
Can you survive the tsunami on the Caribbean? Yeah, go to high ground. I say it all the time for everybody. Backup plan, East Coast. Yep, gotta watch out. West Coast gotta watch out.
Look, if y'all want to know what to do, follow the animals. If you go outside and you don't hear no dogs barking and you don't see no birds nowhere around, and then normally all that shit be loud, you better get to moving.
Many of us have done videos on it and everything, so
the animals gonna know before anybody else. They're gonna be your early alert system because the system is failed, and we might be in the middle of a blackout and y'all don't know to follow the goddamn animals. Follow the animals when the shit they gonna be running in the direction of safety. They not running to the problem, they running away from it. So long as you see your deer out in front of your house doing their thing, playing around like ain't nothing, you good.
Yeah, but you just said, and we all know DC will get underwater. I'm trying to leave.
You might be gone by the time that happens. Shit, we might.
Yeah, I hope.
Hey, we might carve that motherfucker out and send it on its merry way, so it let it sink, just to get it off the land. We done it before, and we'll do it again.
Clean all that blood off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching the birds. We've been talking about the birds for a couple of days now.
Yeah. So when large flocks of birds go to the ground, it's something in the sky.
No fly zone.
Yep. Because the electromagnetic current of the ships is designed to give the bird an early warning so that it doesn't run into their ship. We need that for airplanes. Some of the weed is, but all of it ain't. It's just that you got to have a reputable person that you get your weed from. You can't just get it from everybody.
That's why I sent Rod some lady in Africa planting. We're going to have all of this in our self-sufficient community, so don't worry about it. Part of tribal medicine, medicinal purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Holy sacrament back.
So look.
Get the hell out of that stuff so we can get free, so we can travel, so we can have this cookout. So I got to go.
So to recap of what we went over for some of the people that wasn't here in the early part of the video so far, we went over Kamala Harris is still the president. We put her on public notice by writ of mandamus to execute the writ of habeas corpus to produce the three kings to walk the land, and said that by putting her on notice to agent is notice to principal, puts all of the law enforcement authorities, and it alerts the JAG, which is, what's the JAG stand for again?
Judge Advocate General.
The Navy, to proceed as if there was a treasonous effort on the land, and then from there they will be executing the warrants of anybody that's trying to uphold the undermining and the overthrow of the government. And then once they get done with them and we need to know what's going on, that's what's going to make us have to watch Tribunal TV, because people not going to believe this shit was this bad, this deep, until they see the actual dirty players telling on themselves.
Heck, I labeled it Tribunal TV. Can't wait. Got my popcorn, my tea.
Mm-hmm. So you gonna see old man Bush spilling his gut.
You're not going to see anything on the media because the media is paid by the evil ones. So they're not going to tell on themselves. Would you?
Well,
You want to get on your
they
live and
actually
tell all
been
your dirt?
leaking. They actually been leaking.
It has.
They've been leaking.
I'm just stating, like, some people, like, don't get it. Like, that's like you getting on live and saying, I fucked up. I did this.
Right.
I did that.
So
It's not going to happen.
The conglomerates, the media conglomerates has been seized already. What they doing now is allowing them to run that narrative until the people snap out of the slumber. The less people support, the more people they know are aware that that's some bullshit. Right? And Alpha was once the Omega. That means the last became first. Omega flips to Alpha position. Now, the side effect, I mean, not the side, the parallel to that is that's also called a Zeta wolf. The Zeta wolf is the lone wolf. So just like Omega is the final letter in the Greek alphabet, Z is the final letter in the English alphabet. The lone wolf, right? The lone wolf rather be alone than to not be with the pack he runs.
And being rude. Slam that door one more time.
And if you study the Zeta wolf only comes to the aid of the packs that's in distress from other invaders on the land. He part of the pack, but he just ain't part of the pack. He live his life on the fringes of the pack, but they communicate through howls and scent droppings. But when the time of war, he gonna be able to outfight any other alpha from any other clan, but he ain't gonna never go against his clan. Pretty clever wolf. So when you hear the alpha get that war cry, they don't know it, but the Zeta coming. He might be the biggest wolf out there. He don't care about being the leader of the pack unless he's needed as the leader of the pack. It's the same with the Omega. The Omega, the babysitter. All of the wolves in the pack whoop on him. Right? But they leave him to babysit the babies. And he will fiercely fight a bear to the death about them babies.
Most animals don't give a fuck. Elephant, they get down. I don't know what we've lost that protecting our children feeling. Some of us.
Yeah,
we need to get that back.
Right. And
me off in Mississippi. You drop my cousin off in Arkansas. You drop my auntie off in motherfucking Georgia. You drop my uncle off in motherfucking Alabama. And you think we ain't supposed to notice this shit? Mm-hmm. We all over this motherfucker. We know who the fuck we is. Stop trying to tell us the bullshit. We not falling for it.
Okay.
You know? Okay. The Trail of Tears is how they switched us out.
Okay.
Look, we remember, we all came from west, northwest, southwest, all the way to Florida. Thought us going home. Mm-hmm. Right? And on the way home, when they stopped at Big Mama house like we would normally do, they put us in prison at Big Mama house and they dropped their name out the house and just called it a big house.
Okay.
Right? That's Big Mama house. They stole it. We must return it. It's not personal, it's just family business. Okay. So while they was imprisoning us in POW camps at Big Mama house that they had makeshift into what they call a plantation. Okay. Right? The plantation was Gitmo of the early conquerors. Okay. Wasn't no slave system as they told it to us. Unless you understand that being a prisoner of war makes you a slave by default. Okay. That's what the only slavery that's ever been over here. Prisoners of war passed off as being foreigners when they organic to the land. Any one of us that knew who we were, they murdered them for telling us. And that's why you got motherfuckers like Jesse Jackson, Cherokee ass, watered down nigga that's scared to tell you. Because he's scared of death. Motherfucker, I'm gonna die sooner or later anyway. Might as well be sooner. That means I can get back to whoop your ass next time faster.
For real, for real. So look, I got this other thing too. That's been happening to me probably for about the last 3 years. It's like I've downloaded some type of ancient language, and if somebody pisses me off, I go into it. I blacked out. I just did this recently. I end up losing my job because of some stuff, and they pissed me off so bad. I went into this thing where I blacked out and I started speaking in this ancient language. And when I came to, everybody was just standing around looking at me. They called the police on me. Thank God I didn't go to jail, but I no longer have employment at this place.
Fuck a job. That's what I say. They ain't deserve you no way. They was vampirizing your energy at that place.
They was. I was so drained and tired, and I knew I wasn't gonna be there much longer. My spirit had already told me I wasn't gonna be there before the end of the year. But when they came at me with it, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready the way that they came at me, and I snapped in there. I ain't even gonna lie. I snapped. That angry black woman came out.
Don't feel bad, because before I left work, I made sure I cussed me a couple motherfuckers out too.
Okay. Long as I ain't by myself.
Hey.
Well, I really don't care if I'm by myself or not. That other twin gonna come out, so it don't matter.
You did? Yeah. All right, sweetie. I'm gonna take one more call. I think I might have time for one more.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Unc.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Okay.
Detroit is the site of a sacred battle between the French and the Organics. The French stronghold was Belle Isle. Chief Pontiac went down to Belle Isle and whooped their motherfucking ass and sent them on about their merry way. So as far as Detroit being sacred land, it's the 313, and 3 is a perfect 7, and the 7 is in the middle of the circle. And the circle got 4 breaks. That's north, south, east, and west, unless it's north, east, west, and south. And whichever way it comes, the acronym tells you that this is the news. And the report is that these motherfuckers can't fuck with us. They fucking with the wrong niggas. But they don't know that yet because they think it's business as usual when it's not business as usual. Everything they thought they was about to get away with has been interrupted. And now the only thing that's left is the last little vestiges of power that they trying to suck off of. So this is a wrap for them motherfuckers. If you want me to talk about Haiti more, sweetie, you're going to have to come in and ask questions because I can't think of nothing I haven't said already. Tell your children that God overthrowing the devil right now, and that's why they can't go to school. If you see runes in the sky, try to get a picture of them. Start trying to get a picture of them. You get a picture of them, we can translate them because the runes is letters to an ancient language. Okay, let me see who in here. So, the question is, for y'all that want to know, all you got to worry about for the moles cleaning up the house is Chief Malik Angel Bay is the one who's ordering the cleanup. If you are more, you need to be in tune with the Peace Stone Nation because they the ones gonna be cleaning up the dirty Moors from out of the house of the righteous Moors. They know who everybody is because the grand governing body of the Moorish Science Temple got all of their names on file in the dirt that they did. So don't even worry about how you're gonna clean it up. It's just waiting to see Angel Bay so it can get cleaned up. All of these motherfuckers got to go. And we got the right motherfuckers. So he being backed up by Big Tookie and his clan. So it is what it is. There's some more Cali love in this motherfucker. You don't know nothing about that Cali love. My motherfuckers ain't had nobody. Hey. What's going on? Tell them where you calling from.
How you doing?
I'm good. Tell them where you calling from.
I'm calling from San Diego, California, but we represent LA too. You know how to throw that out there. You know.
You sound slightly muffled, like your speaker covered up.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Do you have on a headset?
Let me look for it. Let me see. Hold on.
It sounds like you got a headset on, and the headset is muffled.
It's fine. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you just sound muffled.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me look for these headphones. Because my phone's kind of messed up because I've been having it through the mud.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it then. So,
Yeah.
what you want to talk about?
Let's talk about how we've just been right about this. We've been telling the people what's been happening. You know, they look at us crazy, but a lot of us been saying what Kanye just said since the beginning of the year and time. You know, everybody just prepare yourself spiritually, mentally. No weapon formed us shall prosper. All physical diseases can be cured in the herbs. Don't believe nothing they say because everything could be cured. Treat your mamas right and, you know, light candles, get your cleanses done because the righteous will rise. That's just what I feel.
It's coming. We watching it in real time, and that's what makes it so difficult to see what's going on because hindsight is 2020.
So everybody who knows what's been really going on because there's just a bandwagon of everybody like, oh, fuck Kanye. Why didn't we cancel him when he said slavery was a choice? But it's like everything is planned out. It's just we, the real ones, know what's been going on. Ever since Nip died, that's when shit got real.
I know.
They took Nip, but Nip is still here. Nip will come to you in a dream. He'll do what he got to do, but you know things happen for a reason. And I just everybody strap up, whether it's spiritually with a weapon. You know, my family just came back from Michoacan in Mexico, and my sister was telling me that like in the street, the people are just walking with a machete, you know, ready for anything out in the ranch over there. So, you know, whether it's with that, lighting a candle, releasing your traumas, because we have a lot of trauma, a lot of sexual trauma too, that needs to be released, and we just got to get ready.
Yeah. So they think that wall gonna stop Mexico when the time comes.
That ain't gonna do
But
nothing.
look, when El Chapo get that order, they gonna tear that wall down. Coming over here.
Yeah. The thing is, the people, whether it's because I live right here by San Diego, so the Haitians, there's a bunch of Haitians here. What people don't know is that there's underground tunnels. People are gonna get here one way or another. Somebody knows somebody, and life is about who you know. So it don't even matter. It's just people gotta see through that shit and keep it pushing because I see it all right here. Being in Cali, I see everything. Like, see my eyes, how big. I see everything, and sometimes it gets scary, but we gonna be all right.
Yep. So in Mexico, they got some OGs, but they ain't the Spaniards that settled there. They not the settlers.
No.
They the ones up in the hills, like the Zapatista. Them groups, that's the organic people over there, and they done fucked around and made connections with the Panthers, so it's going down.
Yeah, like you know, there's groups over there, should I say, in the intellectual way. There's groups over there. Everybody know what time it is. Everybody is repping Tupac, even across the border, repping Thug Life. Everybody knows what it is, and it don't stop. My son's name is Amaru, and it's just the marathon continues. There's just too much going on. People just gotta understand. Do your spiritual work, do your candles, and stop fucking around because we've been knowing what is gonna happen. So listen to the people that seem like a conspiracy or seem crazy. Just listen. And on skin folk and kin folk too. They might look like us, but ain't us. 'Cause even my own race, Mexican and Puerto Ricans, they might look like me, but they're some fucking coons.
Yeah, we already know that they all look. All of them motherfuckers don't get they just do.
Yeah, it's I just want to show y'all a little bit of my altar. I ain't gonna show y'all everything because, but look, I got the gorilla right here, and the frog, and I got Nick. And this kind of a glare. So we at. We gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. Like I got my little bell. You know, and I wish you guys all money. Today's St. Jude's Day, so all money in. And I just wanted to share some good energy with y'all because oh, and make sure you got this deck. Everybody get this deck. Get this deck. And make sure you have zinc too. Okay?
You can't take it without magnesium, or you can't use it.
Yeah. So make sure you are taking the right things so it can work.
All up through there, they just going on, man, in their business.
Thanks. All of them, Mohegan, everything. Foxwoods, they got the whole reservation. I see them all the time. Nah, but what was you what
man, it's open conversation, man. You got anything on your mind you want to discuss?
Yeah, I was listening to Dane Calloway the other day on his live when he was speaking about the Afrikaners, and like you were just saying something essentially that resonated or like reflected with what he was speaking about literally 2 days ago about the imposters going to Africa first and then running the same operation on Americans or our homeland. Just basically
they don't change tactics. That's how you can track them.
Facts.
That make them easy to track. The problem is that most of us don't believe somebody that look like me and you, would do what's been being done to us. That's where the problem come in with solving the problem. That's the hardest part of solving the problem.
No, that's a psychological trap because niggas looking for somebody that they looking for something they can't find. It's like you're just looking in the wrong place.
They pull up these old geezer ass.
That's really wild.
Rockefellers, motherfuckers got to go get a life support every night before they go to sleep at night because they might not wake up the next morning. Talking about these motherfuckers running the show. Yeah, they can't run the show, man. Them motherfuckers ain't even smart enough to wipe their own ass.
Yeah, they learn everything from us. Like once I learned about the primordial noon and that all life came from the black woman, I was like, there's no way that they're running anything here. Like it's under our jurisdiction essentially. Like there's somebody who clearly looks like us, like you were saying, running the entire show, and it's like trickle down economics. So they give it to them to enforce it against us, so that we don't know who the actual enemy is. They've been telling us
the whole time. Really your own people did it. We like, motherfucker, let my people slap, boom, beat down, and then come to find out they right. And then you can think about how many times you done went upside somebody's head for telling you it was your own people because it was somebody that looked like us that wasn't us, and they couldn't tell the difference. Shit, we just got to the point where we could tell the difference in them.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, it's a little under prophecy, so we all living in real time.
Yeah, half of us don't know. If we seen the picture of David Koresh and the picture of Charles Manson and the picture of Jesus Christ, we couldn't tell you who was who. Most of us can't. We think they are Jesus. Oh, them just different pictures of people playing like Jesus. But the first picture was the fake picture.
Christian Bale, Passion of Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Caesar.
But really, the guy that sat in as the model for that picture was Michelangelo's cousin. And the guy that was the model for Moses was his uncle. All of those was really his family members. It just so happened that Caesar Borgia looked like Michelangelo's cousin too.
Sure.
So they accidentally colorboat some shit, discovered some shit. He wasn't even no hell of a Caesar. You don't. If it wasn't for the picture, we wouldn't even know he existed.
Yeah, because I didn't know he existed till it was literally about that. And I figured, you ever heard of Pastor Darby? Pastor Stephen Darby?
That sounds
Stephen
familiar.
Darby. Yeah, like he was a pastor on YouTube going crazy for like the past 10 years. I'm pretty sure he passed away in like 2016, 17. But he was going on like from like 16, from like 2008 to like 2016 about all the esoteric nature of like how they flip the script in bibliology or I guess, religious texts in general, just like how they flipped it in music and all that things and just like our artistic nature. So like,
That's how I was able to put the Bible story together and unscramble it by learning the story that our ancestors left in stone for us. Oh, yeah, the Negro Land video that got him murked. Yep, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. He was going crazy back in the day. That's where I was getting most of my information from initially. Because not going to lie to you, I wasn't really reading books. Like, I was just listening to people who I felt like their spirit resonated with mine. And I would just like learn the information and then go do my research on the internet myself.
So once you start getting the pieces and you start verifying, then you start putting the pieces in together, you see the puzzle. The hardest part was when I first was studying in the Moorish Science Temple, and I asked them where was the flag of the Bays. That set the biggest red alert off to me in the history of mankind. They don't know nothing about no flag of the Bays. They have no fucking clue what I'm talking about.
Because they don't know who the Bays are.
That was we took the position in the L's versus the Bays, feathers versus the fezes. The Bays was the ones who, the term Bays and Days are terms of provincial leaders from the Ottoman Empire. The Ali was the Grand Mufti that was in charge of the Caliphate. The Caliphate is a successorship of Prophet Muhammad, and the rightful heirs come down through a specific chain. So you need the Ali key in order to secure the birthright of the L's. The L's come from the Kabbalah, right? When they speak of L, they talk a definite article L, the, right? But when the is left in of its own accord, when it stands alone, it's an irrational statement, right? Right. There's no way to reference it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the L's became known as the Elohim in Hebrew, but they became.
You see? And all of it goes back to the fear. Because when you break out the fear, you start trying to find solutions to the problem. So you got any more questions you want me to deal with before we wrap this up?
I know before you were talking about the Aussie and I and where it sits at according to our brain. I said I was going to get with you and ask you about that one too.
What was it?
The Aussie and I and how you were relating it to where it came from, how it in our brain.
Okay.
And how to use it.
Right here on your forehead, this is the area where they call your cyclops or your third eye. They call it cyclops because cyclops is supposed to be once you realize what the Christ say, when both of your eyes become single, the whole body is filled with light. It's the cyclops. All right, so once you understand that's what they're talking about, then you go to the next part. The third eye is a decalcified pineal gland working in conjunction with something called a sacrum. The sacrum is your lower chakras at the base of the spine, the sacrum. This is also known as the sanctum sanctorium, or the sacred location. There's a pump down there. So they don't tell you. There's just like your heart pumps your blood through your body. You have a 2-part pump that pumps your what they call cerebral spinal fluid, and you got 4 chambers in the brain, just like the heart. And when you activate the pump. The pump pushes a combination of chemicals that they call the sacred secretion up into the 4 chambers. When the sacred secretion hit the 4 chambers of monoatomic gold and a few other chemicals, vitamin D being one, it creates an arc, or your Ark of the Covenant. The arc that it creates goes through what they call a part of the brain, it's a spongy part of the brain that sits between the 2 hemispheres. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But that arc is your Ark of the Covenant. This sacred secretion in the 4 chambers allows that arc to send an electromagnetic pulse between your pituitary gland and your pineal gland. When that arc takes place, this is Samson destroying the pillars of Boaz and Joachim. Samson destroys the pillars and he stands alone as the middle pillar at that point, meaning that his third eye is fully realized. He's awake. Women can do it easier and faster than men when they do it in a group on earth. They can do it easier and faster than men when they do it in a group on earth. There's a specific method and a specific technique. Women can hide. They don't want y'all to know this. And if you start doing it with too small of a number, they're going to stop it. You have to start with a big number. That means that you have to start with a group that go out in secret and teach other groups until you got a big number. You're ready to flip the grid at that point. So your third eye is your spiritual senses, all the way turned on, no restrictions. You see all. You are omniscient. You know all. But it's not you who know it. It's Source who gives you the information because you have sought the kingdom of heaven and discovered it. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I've been telling you that from the whole book. We've been looking for heaven. We're looking for a spaceship to land on earth, take us out of space. That ain't it. You don't get there that way. Some people will. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother topic. That's not the true kingdom of heaven for us on earth. And that true kingdom of heaven being within us, we have been restricted from it because of the punishment. That's why I say we was born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Sin is an actual God. And the home of sin is Sinai or Sinai or Zion, that sacred mountain, where the iniquity in the false creation of the Gulu, where they animating through incantation that they call the breath of life. It's an incantation. It's a very specific one.